Oh, it should come as no surprise that I have shifted my stance a little bit in the position that the cryptos are in right now. We've had continued downside in the equity space with the Dow and the S&P 500 cratering in recent days. We're not seeing the same kind of action in the crypto space. However, it does look like we have a setup in place right now. This is Chainlink, the 1 hour view, and we had our three waves up, which we see here, a 1, 2, and a 3, possibly an ABC. Whichever one it is, this has gotten a little too deep to be a legit fourth wave. Doesn't mean that it's over yet necessarily, but we are very close to invalidating our immediate upside setup. So we've hit a low at 12.11. Our invalidation point would have been 11.43, so we're not too far away from there at all, and not really seeing much in the way of a convincing rebound so far. So right now the bullish pattern is holding on by a thread. We didn't quite get the second wave bounce we were expecting. So in our last update, I was expecting this to be a 5-wave pullback with a sufficient bounce for a second wave before we'd start up on our third wave down. We're not seeing that in Chainlink. However, we have seen such structure, such a shape in other cryptos. You see a bit more of a rebound for Ethereum where you have a 1, 2. So if we go ahead and take our retrace based on what we see, that is deeper than a 30. Actually, that's a 50% retrace. Well, not quite. Let me move that thing there. So almost a 50% retrace. That would be a legitimate second wave bounce. And in Bitcoin, we have, again, more of a convincing second wave bounce. And when we look at a couple of the other coins, same kind of thing. We look at Dash, same thing. Somewhat of a convincing, although rather shallow pullback to go up the other way. And I'm going to look at EOS. This actually had a very convincing second wave bounce. That had a clear three-wave structure. I'll be updating this coin next, so stay tuned if you are looking forward to an EOS update. So with all that being said, I am sufficiently convinced that we do have our bounce out of the way, and that if we are following red, we should be breaking down below this support relatively soon, within the next few days. And I also believe that we're going to be aligning pretty closely with what the S&P and the Dow have been doing. So today we had a pretty solid bounce, and it has been, I would honestly say, a pretty good gentleman's exit opportunity if you were long in equities. I know I took some profit, some longs. I took some profit on some puts before that. So there are lots of signs that we have a lower low coming. And you can see that we have the same stance in the equity space that we do in cryptos, with a bottom around February 23rd, February 24th, and a clear three-wave rally up with a very sharp pullback that looks like it's got a little bit lower to go before we're done. So with that being said, Chainlink, again, I'm still 50-50, but we're getting very close. If we break that support at 11.43, red becomes my primary. And if that is the case, we should see this thing head down a good bit lower. So our third wave should take us down to anywhere from 927, as far down as mid to lower $7 range alone. Expect a relatively sharp and slow fourth wave pullback. Our overall bottom will probably be somewhere between $4 and $6. This is on the linear close-up chart. We may not have as exaggerated as a crash as it looks like in that picture. When we look at this situation here with our big picture logarithmic chart, our 1-to-1 ratio is the top of this box. That's at about 971. So that's about what the minimum pullback would be. We could see this thing go down even lower. We do have the lower $4 range as a potential, but I don't expect it to go that low. I'd say 574 is going to be the lowest we go. So if you're holding Chainlink, this is where your own trade strategy is going to determine what actions you take. For many of you, you're going to be better off holding through this crash, because typically when you have a big pullback, there's a lot of sell pressure. The bearishness gets exhausted immediately, and you have a sharp reversal. You can see this sharp red candle here, in which we had a very sharp pullback and a sharp rebound. Same kind of thing throughout the history. Now, Chainlink hasn't had the sharpest pullbacks relative to other coins, but you see the same pattern recurring, where you have a very sharp pullback and explosive rally back. So again, depending on your strategy, I would probably not consider this a good time to sell everything you have. Personally, I will very likely take anywhere from a third to half my position off the table, depending on how we go. I'm looking for a little bit more sign that we are actually pulling back in a correction. So I may be doing that tonight into tomorrow, unless we see a sharp reversal. When I look at Bitcoin, that is one of the two OG cryptos. That would give me more of an indication of what the sentiment is. And it's not giving us too much hope at the moment that's going to turn around. But remember, we haven't had too much of a lower low since. So here, it could still be a fourth wave, but I'm going to be watching this thing. Again, Ethereum and Bitcoin have a little bit more cushion before I would take the bullish pattern off the table. Now, Bitcoin would have to break about 34,000 for us to be in the red pattern. And Ethereum, our invalidation point would be about 2,300. So it's a long way down from here. Again, if you are considering taking some chips off the table, I can't fault you for that because it could be a painful crash, but it should not be very long-lived. So if that does happen, I'll be putting some alerts out. Subscribe so that you don't miss those. What I would expect to see is a drop, very likely again in 5-wave fashion. That's what I have in the red here, assuming that our actual second wave is right here. Third wave should get down well below $10. So when this third wave starts, it should be very clear. There should be no question that we are going down. So look for that to happen. We are in a third wave. It should be the strongest portion of the movement. And that, again, should take us below $10 with an ultimate bottom somewhere in the $5 to $7 range. We're going to keep an eye on how quickly we descend. Once that happens, our reversals should be pretty freaking powerful. So that would be a BTFD opportunity, most likely. I'll very likely be buying my coins back that I sell if I do sell some positions. And if you're looking to put in a sum, might not be a bad idea to start legging in. Could buy a tranche down there. After that point, this rally pattern would still stand. I would fully expect us to have some kind of a 5-wave rally. I wouldn't expect to jump in this box right away, but if we get that lower low, expect somewhat of a 5-wave rally. It would very likely mirror what we've seen in the crash structure. So oftentimes your first wave after a crash will bounce up to about where the B wave bounce was in the corrective structure. So that's all I got for today. Got a lot of coins to update. Subscribe once again so you don't miss any updates. And if you like my video, don't forget to give me a like. Till next time, thank you for watching and happy trading.